I've seen a lot of issues. In fact, I got yelled at in April for being in the booth with my mother, whose hand is turning into a claw from a brachial nerve damage. You can't be with, I said she needs help. My mom finally told the man, she's telling me how to vote anyway, so just. Well, I grew up a liberal Democrat in New City, so it's important that I keep henpeck in my family, just to make sure they don't slide back into remission. Okay, so I am Jennifer Bird, I'm running for 5th County Council. I think that we have a critical situation going on within our county, and I think that this entire election year is critical for our county because we have a real opportunity, and I know you know this is true, to take back the county executive seat. However you're voting on that, as long as it's voting Republican, I'm good with it. I have my preference, I won't share it now, but we really do have an opportunity to take that back. We have a 7-seat council. 2 seats are Republican, the other 5 are Democrat. I think that I have a viable chance to take the 5th district, which will give us a 3 lead because
Who currently has that seat?
Pat Dolan.
Oh.
He's a very nice man.
Yeah, I like
However, he happens to be part of a larger machine that just isn't working for us. And so, but I mean, he's a genuinely decent individual. We have one person I know in my work in approaching council and making requests to support legislation and usually to oppose it. We found that Hazel Irby in the 1st district is a reasonable individual who will listen. I mean, she's removed her name from co-sponsoring legislation when we've fought for 15 weeks, for example, with the Complete Streets bill. They wanted to spend $1.9 billion on complete streets. Who lives in complete streets, right? You've got to love the names, they're so catchy. And so I feel that there's a real opportunity to make a real difference here. And I'd like to capitalize on that and be a part of that as well. I have a few things that I'd like to see, well, I have a lot of things I'd like to see on the county council, and Craig Niehaus was kind enough to give me a list of roads, as if none of us are aware of some of the roads that we drive on that are absolutely horrible. We've got the money, where is it? Let's spend it on
Berry Road.
Berry Road. That's on the list, and I was just complaining to you about Berry Road. So also, one of the big things that I would like to see is having fiscal notes attached to every piece of legislation that's proposed or put forth to the council. You know this at the state level, every bill has a fiscal note, meaning we need to know what the estimated cost is for that legislation. There is no way you can budget your money and prioritize your expenditures unless you know what the cost is. And again, I think Rick Stream would agree, and he's on the budget committee, that is a necessary situation. So that's one thing, it just floors me that that's not current practice, and I find that very wrong. And so I'm asking for your support. I think that I can make a big difference, or as a good old friend, Steve Michael, I know you know who he is, at the very least you can help gum things up on the county council and prevent anything bad from going through. So I am working on literature actually as we speak. I've been working hard on a couple of campaigns for the primary. I'm very fortunate, and I do consider myself fortunate, I don't have a contested primary. Actually, I looked for a year and a half to find someone to run for this seat, and then got worried that, you know, no one's going to run. I'm not going to give you the race by default. I'll stick my name in the ring.
Yeah.
So, work hard for primary. We've got to get the primary done. November's coming faster than we realize, so we've got to obviously consider that as well. And I really do think we have an opportunity to make a significant difference on our county council.
I'm the dumb one. I know very little about the county, how it all works. Does the county council work for the executive?
Not really. The executive is sort of for all intents and purposes, kind of the leader that sort of sets the tone and the agenda.
Chairman of the board.
He's the chairman of the board, and he oversees things, and the council actually is the voting voice that decides on particular legislation, for or against. And so that's probably The meat is the council itself. I mean, the executive is also very important. But I would say that the council, and not taking anything away from the leadership position, but the council has the votes that will decide that, yes, we're gonna spend $1.9 billion on complete streets because we need more bike paths, for example.
I'm gonna write down and I'm gonna learn more about this.
Well, and you know what, they meet every Tuesday at 6 PM. If you're going to speak to the council, that's one thing I'd also like to change. How about meetings at 7? So that people can get home and have dinner with their families and then get to Clayton and find a place to park.
Rich, one of the best things to learn about it is to just go to the meetings. It doesn't mean anything for a while because you have no idea what they're talking
Right.
about. But, you know, you get familiar with what's going on.
And go to the council agenda. Go to the county council website and click on the agenda because they post the agenda that's coming up. And so you'll start seeing, you know, some of the things. A lot of it won't make any difference. It'll be this plat number, this lot is 266 feet long by X. And that they're going to make a zoning variance for reduction of parking, for example, for Hobby Lobby, which is going in down in South County, Lindbergh and just near Lindbergh and 55.
What is
So-
the website?
St. Louis
St.
County.
Louis County Council. I don't know, shame on me.
It's just St.
I
Louis
have it
County.
bookmarked on my, it's like my cell phone. I don't know your phone number. I just hit the button
standard-
that says
It's
your
just the
number.
standard one, the St. Louis County.
St. Louis County Council. And you'll get it right there.
You'll find it.
And then there's there's a separate button for council archives or current council agenda.
Okay.
And so you can follow things that way. So, I would appreciate your support. I
How
will
long
be,
are those terms?
they're 4 years.
And how long has Dolan been in? How many?
He's been in 4 years.
Okay,
This is his first term, so he's seeking reelection.
okay. And are
And,
they term limits or no?
No, there are no term limits. I mean, I'm a proponent for term limits for some reasons, but I also see how bad it is, especially at our state level. You finally get things going well, and then people are termed out, and, you know, then you no longer have the protection you could count on.
Do you
Yeah.
get some money for your work?
Yes, and there is a pay. I mean, it's a paying position, it's about $20,000 a year. And
Do you have
so,
any yard signs yet?
I do not yet have yard signs, I have a website, which is www.votejenniferbird.com. My committee name is Friends of Jennifer Bird, I haven't asked for money, John Winston, God love him, ask for money, you're always doing stuff for everybody else. I'm like, I'll ask for money after the primary when I'm gonna have to get down to brass tacks for myself. Another thing I think people may need to know about me is I'm opposed to the city-county merger. And I'm still currently making trips to different meetings to alert people. I've met with Elks Club members, Knights of Columbus, various municipalities to go in. I get my sign in early and get my 3 minutes to speak and say, it's not a joke, it's really happening.
It's getting more and more traction, isn't it?
It is getting, and you know what really helped me not being laughed at anymore is when Better Together came rolling out in November. I'm like, oh, it's not a conspiracy if it's true. And I don't care if people laugh at me, it doesn't make any difference, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing anyway, so I would appreciate your support. I imagine I will hopefully have another brief opportunity before November to at least come in
We
and
can arrange that.
leave some literature, leave some yard signs.
Yeah, I'd like to get a yard.
Oh, and I should tell you my boundaries too.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna ask the boundaries.
Okay, north, Olive Boulevard. West is Lindbergh, south is Gravois, and east is city limits. So I've got,
It's a big
You got a
one.
lot.
it is, it's more than half of U City, which is my old stomping grounds. And, it's everything here. Well, no, because you guys have a little bit west of Lindbergh, don't you? A little piece?
Not-
It's Webster, Shrewsbury, U City,
Yes, I should
Clayton.
make a map and plot you in there.
Okay, and
And
Maplewood,
post it.
Richmond
This
Heights,
is a north-south configuration.
correct.
And I'm sure there's a map on the.
Online.
Online, there is, but if you just remember, city limits to the east, Olive to the north, Lindbergh to the west, and Gravois to the south.
Yeah.
It's almost a block,
And we're in it.
and we are currently in
You
it at the
didn't
moment.
mention Morrison Woods.
Morrison Woods is.
Probably not.
No, because that's mostly on the other side of Lindbergh, isn't it?
Oh,
Oh, well, then no, then yeah, then yeah, you are.
Okay, I'll look it up, Rich.
Yeah, you're right.
I apologize, Goodness, so again, I thank you for listening to me and thank you for the opportunity and I'm gonna
Thank you.
dab